AI is about to take over your Xbox console. Here's how Phil Spencer saved the day. After 20 years, this game may finally be coming to your Xbox console. Let's discuss. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Xbox Ready, the YouTube channel that's dedicated to all things Xbox. We're still rolling with the new format here, so I'm going to be talking the latest news going on in the Xbox world to make sure that you are Xbox ready. And then I'm going to throw in a little bonus section. I'm going to be talking about my time at Blizzcon over this past weekend. It was really, really fun, and they had some good surprises for us. A lot more definitely than what I initially would have thought they had to share. I posted a lot about BlizzCon on my new Instagram that I made for Xbox Ready. Up until this point, I've been pushing people towards my personal profile, and I now realize that was a mistake because I'll be posting about things like, you know, me traveling and doing stuff with my wife and like going to my sister's wedding down in Mexico. Stuff that like my friends and family would be interested in, but not necessarily things that you guys would be interested in. Like, you're following me for Xbox stuff and content and news. So I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and make a separate page for Xbox stuff. It's just going to be Xbox Ready stuff, Xbox content, news, and things like that. So I would really appreciate a follow there. So if you want to give the new page a follow, it's at Xbox_Ready. I'm also going to be streaming starting this week. I don't really know how to Twitch, as the kids say, but I play the games anyway, so I'm just gonna go live, and you know, it'll be an opportunity for you guys to come hang out, chat games, Xbox, or life in general. But let's get right into the news, ladies and gentlemen, gamers from all over. We got a very cool peek as to what games and NPCs are going to look like on your Xbox console going forward. Xbox has this new partnership with In-World AI, and together they're going to be making developmental AI tools that will allow developers to use AI to generate NPCs, quest lines, dialogue, literally like having an NPC and talking to them like you would with ChatGPT or any other AI programs out there. According to The Verge, the AI toolset that Xbox and In-World are going to be working on will include the AI design Copilot for scripts and dialogue, and an AI character engine that can be integrated into games and used to dynamically create stories, quests, and dialogue. And if any of that sounds confusing to you, they actually have like a pretty interesting, helpful trailer to go along with this article on The Verge, showing exactly what kind of tools In-World brings to the table when it comes to game development. They show off talking to an NPC that is using AI to generate its dialogue and its voice. They show off, oh, like AI-generated NPCs can have their own goals that maybe shift throughout gameplay. All of this is very interesting to me. It is pretty exciting, but I will say there are some kind of things that make me questionable about it. Like, we got to proceed with this very, very carefully. But I do firmly believe, guys, that AI in video games, that is the future of gaming, hands down. We're already seeing AI take over all sorts of stuff. We're already seeing AI generated content on TikTok, on YouTube. Maybe you haven't even noticed it yet. And I feel like the progression of AI with like voiceovers and ChatGPT and stuff, just over the past 6-12 months has taken such a crazy leap that I can't even imagine what this thing is going to look like 3, 4, 5 years down the line. So it's only natural that video games as an industry would get in on AI implementation. I really see the potential for this technology, especially with genres like open world RPGs. Like, imagine you're playing the next Elder Scrolls, or maybe the Elder Scrolls after that, and your companion has evolved into something way more than someone who just carries around all your extra baggage. You can literally have a conversation with them, and the AI will think like that character and respond like that character, respond organically and have that conversation. I can also see this being a really cool tool for developers, saving them a bunch of time. Like, oh, maybe I don't have to like sit down and craft 100 individual quests for this next Assassin's Creed game. But talking through that now, it's like that kind of represents what I'm afraid about AI, at least for the next couple of years, because this early AI integration probably not going to be good. We're probably going to be seeing a lot of AI generated quests that are like, dude, what is this? I didn't think that quests could be more boring than like going out, finding some chickens, or like, you know, killing X amount of spiders. So I'm hoping that we're not going to have this period of time where we're just working through a ton of garbage AI generated stuff. Here's something I gotta remind you guys about. Like, I spent some time in the world of voiceover, and my wife manages a voiceover studio, and coincidentally they record a lot of Call of Duty over at her studio, and she's even saying to me, she's like, yeah, we're seeing a big push from video game makers and from audiobook creators to use AI voiceovers. It's already happening. So if I'm a business, I'm like, okay, do I want to pay this guy $100 and he's gonna have to take a bunch of breaks while he's recording lines for this next Call of Duty? Or do I want to just tell a computer to do it and I have it like that and it's cheaper? From an actor's perspective, from someone who's interested in VO, that's all. It's messed up. It's messed up. I don't know. It's a very complicated situation. There was a big thing going on with Starfield, like, oh, they have like 1 million lines of dialogue, like recorded by all these different actors and stuff. What if AI could take that, instead of 1 million lines of dialogue, it's like infinite lines of dialogue, infinite possibilities, infinite conversations that you could have. Pretty cool, but like, are we opening Pandora's box here a little bit? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Speaking of dystopian futures filled with stuff that nobody wants, Xbox users are furious over this latest marketing tactic that Xbox has implemented. So over the past couple of days since the release of Modern Warfare 3, when you've booted up your Xbox console, chances are that you were greeted by this huge ad for Modern Warfare 3. I managed to avoid it on my Series S, but when I booted up my Series X the other day, even though I had already downloaded and redeemed a code for Modern Warfare 3, it came up and gave me a huge ad for it. They got it, I don't know. On one end, all it takes for me to get past this ad is the click of a button. On the other end, it's feeling kind of invasive, right? And I've always come on the channel and said, like, I want less ads on my Xbox dashboard, especially as someone who spends a lot of money on the Xbox store, spent a lot of money on Xbox products, who continues to subscribe to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. It's like, you already got me, guys. Like, I'm probably not the one that you want to reach with your marketing. I feel like there's a better way to do it, man. Like, yes, I can get past this ad fairly easily, but then I'm on the Xbox dashboard and I see tiles for Modern Warfare 3. Like, I'm getting hit with like continuous double ads. I guess much like YouTube. A lot of questionable stuff surrounding Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, as you've probably seen at this point. The reviews have not been kind to this latest installment in the ever-evolving and sometimes a repeat saga of Call of Duty. IGN infamously gave this game a 4. And you know, guys, I haven't played a Call of Duty since Black Ops 2 in 2016. So a lot of these things, like a lot of people are complaining like they're reusing assets from Warzone and like they're using a lot of the same guns from previous Call of Duties. That doesn't sting as much to me because I haven't played a Call of Duty in 7 years, but I feel like it would be a disservice to you guys to ignore like all of the criticisms that Modern Warfare 3 has been getting over the past couple of days. And just because it doesn't sting so bad to me, the fact of the matter is that people are paying $70 for this. And when you pay $70 for something in this economy, it's gotta be worth it. I'm sure there are a lot of people that are still gonna buy this game. Like, no matter what they do, it seems that Call of Duty is still charts in like the top 5 best-selling games of the year. But here's what I'm thinking, guys. I'm looking at it through the lens of the Xbox acquisition. This represents what a good idea would be to experience the new Call of Duties through Game Pass via day one editions. Because then you don't have the situation, right? It's like, oh, I played Modern Warfare 3 through Game Pass. I didn't spend $70, so I'm not like, you know, I'm not as bothered by some of the things that are going on with it. Or number 2, now that Xbox and Microsoft, they own Call of Duty, maybe they can cut all this stuff out, man. Maybe they can just be like, okay, guys, you don't need to pump out a new Call of Duty every year, even if it's like a 3-hour campaign, even if it's like reused assets. I know you've done that in the past to just make money, right? You're just trying to make money. But now you're bankrolled by Microsoft, baby, one of the most valuable companies in the world. Maybe you can take a break, not release a game every year, and just like make a more thoughtful, cool Call of Duty experience. Last but not least for this segment, I will talk to you about how Phil Spencer saved Game Pass just in time for Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. A couple days ago, Xbox landed itself in hot water. Well, I say hot water, but I mean like, I don't know, a couple hundred, maybe 1,000 people were complaining about it on Twitter. They were going through this weird period where at one point Xbox was going to take away employee Game Pass Ultimate benefits. So since 2019, apparently, Xbox employees have gotten Game Pass and eventually Game Pass Ultimate for free as part of their employee perks. And for some reason, news broke that that perk was going to be taken away. And people were like, what the heck? Why is Xbox cheaping out on us, man? And then Phil Spencer came along and was like, yo, guys, listen, I don't know anything about this, but I'm gonna look into it personally. So now, instead of over 200,000 employees losing access to Game Pass Ultimate by January, they've reversed that decision after Phil Spencer looked into it, after the employees were complaining. And that is a good move. Good move to reverse that decision, because it's just not good optics, right? Your Xbox. You were bankrolled by Microsoft, who has a ton of money. Like, surely you can afford to pay like the freaking like $17 a month for your employees to access one of your products that you're trying to push and really make a thing. It's been an interesting couple of days for Phil Spencer, because he did appear at BlizzCon, and that was kind of a surprise. And he also welcomed in the PlayStation player base and the Switch player base, and welcomed them as part of the Xbox family. Now let's take a second to talk about BlizzCon, specifically my first BlizzCon ever. I managed to weasel my way in, get a media badge, because now that Xbox owns Activision and Blizzard, well, the marketing person that I knew at Xbox got me in touch with the comms team at Blizzard, and boom, I'm in Anaheim and I'm at BlizzCon. I was a little nervous because, like, okay, my main Blizzard games are Diablo and Overwatch, but I haven't really played Overwatch since it became Overwatch 2, and while I'm a big Diablo fan and I beat Diablo 4, I kind of fell off towards the beginning of Season 1, so I was like, oh, okay, I feel like a little rusty in terms of like my Blizzard hype, but once I showed up, I had a great time. Number one, like the Blizzard community, they have this reputation of being toxic or whatever, especially in Overwatch, but in person, some of the chillest people you will ever meet. I made so many friends. Like, I was just talking to people, waiting in line, and like at the Hearthstone Tavern. I made friends playing Overwatch. I was a little nervous because I went by myself, and I've gone to cons by myself, specifically LA Comic-Con and Anime Expo. And I feel like I'm a pretty sociable guy. Like, I go up, I like to talk to people, you know, connect over a shared interest of anime or gaming or comics or whatever. But at LA Comic-Con and Anime Expo, I was just like not getting anything, man. They were like, please get away from me. And at BlizzCon, they were like, yes, let's talk, let's engage, let's chat, let's discuss. So that was really, really cool. And to be honest, guys, I feel like this show was pretty good. I didn't have high expectations going into this thing, you know. I was joking like, oh, they're going to announce like 6 new Overwatch characters and like a new movie, something crazy like that. And no, we didn't get things like that, but I feel like they gave a little bit more than what I was expecting, or announced a little bit more. Once I got my media badge, I sat down in the arena at the Anaheim Convention Center, which is what you probably saw on stream. It was the main stage. That's where they had the opening ceremony. And lo and behold, after the president of Blizzard gave his little spiel, who else comes out but Phil Spencer, P3. I was like, oh crap, like Xbox really does own this stuff now. Microsoft really does own this stuff now. And after a year and a half, more than that, of talking about this acquisition, it was crazy to finally see an Xbox presence mixed with all the Blizzard stuff. He took the stage, he was like, yeah, I'm so excited, blah, 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 blah. The future of Blizzard has never been brighter. We're here to empower Blizzard. He mentioned StarCraft a couple of times. I was like, okay, like, are y'all working on some StarCraft stuff? He said they're working on a ton of stuff. A lot of the stuff they announced at the opening ceremony, you probably watched it on stream, or you watched some other recap, or you watched another article, or you read another article. Sorry, you don't watch. So with that in mind, I'm just gonna go over what I thought was interesting to me, what I'm most excited about. I'm excited to play Overwatch again. Like, that was kind of the overall theme of this weekend. Like, these games I haven't really played for a while, haven't really been involved in for a while. It got me hyped to go back and play them again. With Overwatch in 2024, they're gonna have a new PvP mode called Clash, with a new map, which is like kind of an old map. It's like a rework of the Hanamura map. They showed off the new hero, which he's like Maui from Moana, but with 2 giant guns. And he's like more buff than Maui, I would say. That's really important to know. Like, this dude is really, really buff. I got to play with him a little bit over the weekend. They let everyone play with him over the weekend. You can't play as him anymore. And I proceeded to lose like 4 straight matches at him. I am like terrible with this guy. I don't think he's the character for me, but he's still cool. They also announced 2 new characters that are coming in 2024. Venture, who is a DPS that like burrows underground and has earth-related powers. And then Space Ranger, who they didn't have any gameplay footage of, but apparently is going to be a support that relies on like vertical kind of like floating around astronaut style. I don't know. They announced a ton of stuff, and by a ton of stuff, I mean like a ton of like little stuff for Diablo 4, which made me excited to jump back in. they increased the speed at which you can get to level 100 for these new seasons. Now, for those of you who don't know, whenever a new season starts in Diablo 4, you have to make a new character. And in order to get to like the fun stuff in Diablo 4, you have to be like in the end game level, like 50 and above. And if you jump back into it, you'll see that the experience gain is crazy fast. They also announced a couple new events, Abattoir of Zir, and a special winter Christmas event that's going to be kicking off December 12th. But obviously the most exciting part of their presentation is the announcement of their new expansion, Vessel of Hatred, coming out in 2024. This is going to be a continuation of the story that we saw in Diablo 4, centered around Neyrelle and her journey with Mephisto. That was a big cliffhanger at the end of Diablo 4. Sorry if I just spoiled that. There's going to be a new region, the jungle region of Nahantu, which made an appearance in Diablo 2. And they announced a new class that has never been seen in the Diablo franchise before, coming in 2024 as well. I'm excited for that, but I'm also kind of bummed about it because I was hoping for a holy class of some sort, a paladin, a monk like we saw in Diablo 3, but they specifically mentioned that it's a class that we've never seen in Diablo before, so it's probably not going to be that. The Warcraft stuff, I never really played Warcraft like that. When it came out in the mid-2000s, I had my mom buy it for me. I played the free trial because all my friends were playing it, but then you needed a subscription in order to keep playing. And when I tried to convince my mom to pay for the subscription, she was like, hell no, you are crazy. I already bought you the game. Why would I keep paying for it? The whole subscription thing hadn't caught on quite just yet. But this event kind of had me wanting to jump in and play World of Warcraft. I don't know, guys. And this was probably the coolest part of the opening ceremony. I forget the guy's name, but he was like one of the original guys who made Warcraft cool and worked on that during like the heyday of World of Warcraft. And the energy, people were like popping off. They loved this guy. And he was like, yo, what's up, guys? Terrible impression of him. I'm sorry. But he was like, yo, what's up, guys? I love World of Warcraft, and I'm here to tease not only the next expansion, but the next 3 expansions. It's going to be called the Soulstone Saga. And by Soulstone Saga, I mean the World Soul Saga. It's going to be a series of expansions that take place over the next couple of years, and the first in those expansions is called The War Within. It was introduced by like this super high quality cinematic, like literally movie level cinematic of this guy. Yeah, I don't really know who he is within the World of Warcraft lore, but he's like some kind of disgraced, exiled knight. I don't know. Big orc shaman finds him in the middle of the desert brooding. They have a conversation and it pans up to this giant sword like, bam! What's that sword doing there? It was aimed at someone. Ooh, I guess we're gonna find out in this new expansion. Overall, I'd say a good showing from Blizzard, and that's pretty impressive considering all the drama that's been going on with this acquisition, all the drama that's been going on with like their lawsuits and stuff, so I didn't really know what to expect. And it's clear that next year's BlizzCon is gonna be even crazier because that's when these expansions, these new characters are gonna be dropping in their game. But yeah, overall, BlizzCon, super good time, and I even got to talk to people about their thoughts about the acquisition. And the kind of feedback that I was getting generally was positive, optimistic about Microsoft owning Blizzard now. And speaking of Microsoft owning Blizzard, we got a very exciting update regarding World of Warcraft potentially coming to Xbox consoles. Josh West at BlizzCon interviewed Holly Longdale, who is the vice president of both Blizzard and World of Warcraft, and he had a question that's been on a lot of our minds since his acquisition was announced. Can World of Warcraft be coming to Xbox consoles now that you're part of the Microsoft tech? And she said, of course. Yeah, we talk about it all the time. All the time. She goes on to say, I think we're pretty well positioned, which is kind of the way we talk about it, to bring this game to Xbox consoles. Now, does this mean that World of Warcraft is going to be dropping on Xbox Series X and S by the end of this year? Probably not. In 2024? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they time it with like the release of their new expansions and stuff with BlizzCon next year. But it's a super exciting prospect. Microsoft, Xbox, they're now in charge of this iconic franchise. Bringing it to Xbox consoles, that's like a no-brainer, right? It's like one of the most recognizable franchises in gaming. You gotta have it on Xbox consoles. But would that mean they have to bring it to PS5 and other consoles as well in order to like, I don't know, stay in line with regulators? Either way, it could be really cool. I don't quite know how they would remap the WoW experience to a gamepad. Yes, we have seen other MMOs do this pretty well, like Elder Scrolls Online, but with a game like Elder Scrolls Online, you only have 5 abilities plus an ultimate ability, and that goes up to 12 max if you switch weapons and have different toolbars and stuff. So something like that, that game is already built to handle well on a controller. A game like WoW, they're gonna have to do some finagling, I don't know. But bringing in a fresh new crop of console players and adding them to the WoW player base, it could really go a long way in revitalizing this franchise, or Not so much revitalizing it, but like keeping it going well into the future. They were talking like, we want to go for another 20 years. We want to go like 20, 30 years beyond that. Branching out into the console space could go a long way in making sure that happens. Now the question is, like, if WoW comes to Xbox consoles, should it be crossplay? Should Xbox players be able to play with PC players who have a mouse and keyboard, who have all these fancy plugins and stuff like that to run with their client? But overall, I think World of Warcraft on the Series X or S is a W. Anyways, guys, that's all the Xbox stuff I have to talk about today. Thanks so much for joining me for another edition of Xbox Ready. We'll see you in the next video.